what's going on? This is Soldier Knows Best, and today I'm going to be installing Windows on my brand new MacBook Pro. And so I'm out in uniform today because you got to be comfortable while installing Windows. But just playing. But all right, I'm going to be using Boot Camp. And in Boot Camp, Apple is shipping with every new Mac. It comes pre-installed along with Mac OS X Leopard. And this program allows you to actually boot up directly into Windows if you wanted to. So you can use Windows XP or later to do that. And allows you for playing games. Is definitely the preferred way if you want to play games on your Mac that are Windows only. And also if you want to work any programs that are mostly just Windows only, you can boot up directly into your Windows and go from there. But anyway, you're going to need a couple of things here. First, you're going to need a copy of Windows, of course. So I have Windows XP 32-bit Service Pack 2. I got off of Amazon for about $86. Something like that, OEM version. Make sure you get the OEM version. So you got that there, and also you're going to need the Leopard Restore disc that come with every Mac. These contain your drivers that you'll need to make sure your keyboard functionality and your new trackpad and your eyesight works with no problem with your Windows programs. All right, so go ahead and get started here. It's a very simple process. In the beginning of the Windows installation process, there are a couple of things that people get hung up on, but I'll address that here at the end of the video. But the first thing you need to do is to find the Boot Camp Assistant. So you need to go to Finder, go to Applications. Now you're going to scroll down till you get to your Utilities folder. And there it is, Boot Camp Assistant. So go ahead and open that. And just an introduction to what you're about to do. And now we're here where you're going to be creating a partition for Windows. And so now partition is basically where, those of you out there don't know, just basically where your operating system will lay its head at night, where it will call its home. So now depending on what you need to do with Windows, you can drag this little button here and expand the size of the partition, or you can make it as small as 5 gigs. You can make it as big as 208 gigs and have it really be your primary operating system on your Mac, but it depends on what you're going to do with it. I'm going to go ahead and set it to 36 gigs. I'm only going to be using it for really playing the games. I'm not going to have more than 1 or 2 games on there. So I'm going to set it to 36 gigs, and you have a couple options here to go ahead and just have it divided equally or just use 32 gigs, but set it to 36 gigs. And now what you want to do is just hit this partition button and let it do its magic. So now what it's doing, what this Boot Camp Assistant is doing is dividing your hard drive up into these 2 separate partitions. And so this is going to take 2 or 3 minutes. So go ahead and cut the video right here and come back right when it's done. All right, I'm back and the Boot Camp Assistant is done. Breaking up my hard drive into 2 different partitions, my Windows partition and my Mac OS X Leopard partition. So now the Boot Camp Assistant is just telling me that I need to go ahead and start my Windows installation. So I need to insert my Windows installation disk and click Start Installation, and just tell me that to make sure that it's Windows XP or later 32-bit or Vista, and that you need to make sure you have your Mac OS X Leopard installed so you can install your drivers on your computer as well to make sure your keyboard and everything else works fine. But alright, I have my Windows installation disk here all nice and yeah. Alright, but go ahead and put that in here. Let my super drive go ahead and start reading that, but I'm not going to click Start Installation yet because, of course, my eyesight and my screen capture program is not going to work while I'm doing this. So anyway, installing Windows is kind of self-explanatory. Now, there's 2 things that people, 2 problems that people usually run into. The first problem is they choose the wrong partition. Okay, so it's going to give you a list of partitions there on where you want to install your Windows OS on. Now you make sure you choose the one that says Boot Camp. All right, simple, right? But some people will choose something else. So make sure you choose the one that says Boot Camp on there. That's the one you made. That's the one you're going to install Windows on. Don't put on your Mac OS X and your Leopard one because you're going to really have problems then. But after you do that, I think the next biggie, or the real biggie, is which file system to use. And there are 2 different file systems that you're going to run into: NTFS or FAT32. Okay. Now, a brief explanation of what these 2 are. FAT32 is for people out there who are going to need to read and write different data between Windows XP, or Windows in general, or Mac OS 10. Okay, so let's say an example, you have an audio or video file that you're going to be working with, but you have two favorite programs, but this one program only works in Windows and the other program only works with Leopard. Okay, so you need to use the FAT32 file system if you're going to be doing that type of work. So you can save it in Windows, then just boom, import it into Leopard, no problem. Okay, majority of people out there are not going to really need that. Majority of people are not going to really be using FAT. I think also with Windows Vista, you can't even use FAT. You have to use NTFS. I think I saw that on the Apple support site. So anyway, what NTFS is Microsoft's latest file system. It's been out for some years now, but it's its latest file system, and it's more secure, it's faster, and it's just better. And they recommend that, and Apple recommend it as well. Because it's just better, it's more secure and faster. Now, because you NTFS, you're not out of the water yet. You can still find other ways to read and write your data in both operating systems. Now, you can do it one way, just to burn your data onto a CD or a DVD, and once you do that, you can swap it back and forth, or use an external hard drive that is already FAT formatted, and you can connect it via FireWire USB and use it that way too. And then also there's another program or some software that I think a Google employee made. I can't think of the name of it right now, but do a Google search for it. But it allows you to, read and write somehow. I just read over it real quick. Anyway, if you have any other questions about these two file systems, just do a Google search for it. Go to Apple support site, and you can find some more information on it if you need that. But that right there is just the gist of it. Majority of you out there, just use NTFS and you'll be fine. So once you do that, you'll go through your Windows installation. That can take 1 hour, 2 hours, or however long it does take, and then you'll be set to go. And then after you do that, like I said, put these Leopard, install this again, and you're going to upload your drivers, and then you're going to be set to go using Windows on your Mac. But all right, this has been Soldier Knows Best. It's been a brief demonstration of how to use Boot Camp. If you have any other questions, just leave a comment under the video or shot me an email in my inbox, and I'll be more than happy to help you with it. But all right, check out my channel. For those of you watching me for the first time, subscribe, and I'll catch you later. Peace.